Grace Jones. She has not been out in quite a while. And she's kind of out over here next to this Chariot card with all these, and this too, right? All this pixelation and geometric shapes. So that's interesting. And we have Henri Matisse at the bottom of the deck. Unleash the beast within. And Grace Jones says, learn to be your own sugar daddy. Harness the power of an unexploded bomb, always waiting, always ticking. To ensure survival, prey must become hunter. And, you know, I was talking about that right side of the body being activated. And Grace Jones, she's one of the more, like, she has a very masculine energy about her, right? You know, and prey must become hunter, right? Rather than being passive, being aggressive. And I do feel like these different geometric shapes, right? This like, how do I want to put this? You know, all the different parts coming together to make a new whole, even with this, you know, moving through the shadow into the light here, right? And we kind of see this like shape taking place, right? We're walking through this darkness, but we're going towards the light. And I'm feeling like, you know, that's what all of these things are kind of saying, right? We're pulling together all these, you know, we see light shining through the darkness here. We have all these different shapes here and here and here. All these different pieces that we have to kind of put together again in order to get this, you know, movement going. It's new way of being, right? This the wheel is turning. We kind of have to relearn things. All right, so what I'm really seeing is this knowledge, right? There's almost, with this Four of Tides and the Eight of Wands here, in these spots, the earth and the water, I feel like there's this isolation, right? These two are turned away from each other, but it's like a pause. It's a preparation, because I do see, you know, this new energy, this knowledge that you have of that it's a new start, right? We're moving into like this new energy, and there's this preparation, right? Harness the power of an unexploded bomb, always waiting, always ticking. That part's really standing out to me. That you're kind of like building energy. You're taking this pause, right? Because above we have the Jester of Fire here and the Chariot here in your air, right? This is like creative energy. I'm feeling like, you know, it's like you're this positive energy to people. There's this healing presence about you. And you're also, you know, you're doing it with others, right? You're like shining a light for others. And it's also healing to yourself as well. Yeah, you're taking this pause to, you know, it's like these are puzzle pieces, right? Where is this? And, right, there are multiple ways that you could do the puzzle. But you want to find the best way, right? The details. You're looking at the details here of how to move forward. Yeah, and there's this listening card. I feel like you're listening to people. There's this quietness about all of this. And I do feel like you're kind of isolating yourself for the most part. Because of this Eight of Wands here. Okay. At any rate. So this is so amazing here, right? This Emperor card. We have the Old here, right? We see a bunch of skeletons. And it kind of reminds me of Mars in reverse, right? Mars retrograde. And we see, it's like we're fighting the old guard here, right? And it's like, this is what we've been going through. It's so crazy. But we see like these pastel colors, right? There's some light coming about. And this is, Mars turning direct. And of course, it's going to take a little while before we really get that forward momentum. But, it's almost like all of this is the slate has been wiped clean, right? We've been going through over the masculine. It's so interesting that we had that. I felt that right side of my body really light up, and it makes sense, of course, but this card just, a lot of people don't like it, but I really do. Because Mars, rules this card. And it is the god of war. And we've been wiping the slate clean. We've been, going through our history and reinventing the masculine. And that's why, this Jester of Fire is showing up here. This is this first week. And, it's like today I got the Four of Cups as myself. And as the day started, I was really feeling it. And it wasn't so much me as I felt like this, the collective energy, right, really just had drained me. And I almost felt physically sick, like I had a hangover or something. And, and I spent the day trying to, meditate and do the right kind of yoga and drink the right kind of tea and get out in nature and such. And I finally did 5 minutes of alternate nostril breathing, pranayama exercise. And I finally started feeling like normal. And so I did Cancer's reading, and this is the moon in Cancer, right? Which is, moon is at home in Cancer. And touching this, Emperor card here, there is this sense of, stagnancy possibly. But it's also comfort. It can also be about turning in, right? But that, it's like these energies can shift. We are in a time of shifting. And with this Jester of Fire above, and we see the butterfly here. We see another butterfly, a bigger butterfly here. And he's actually holding a whole beach ball of butterflies. So there is transformation happening, right? And I feel like you've got this creative mind right now. You're curious. You're watching. And this is that kind of temperance kind of energy, right? And he's holding this letter here. You might be, this might be about communication with someone that you've had a separation from. And of course, it could be something that you're just thinking about right now. And I kind of do feel that way because of this Eight of Wands being down here. All right. And the fact that we're listening. There could be some psychic communication as well. Yes, I could see that, especially with this Six of Tides here. The clarity, yeah, look at that. Underneath clarity is dreams, 25 to 26. So, yeah, the psychic energy is real here. And I kind of got that feeling with this listening card, which I think you are really tuning in, but there is this like kind of, once again, taking in everything, it's like gathering information. Okay. So the heart of this reading, it's like, it's interesting. We have this lightning strike coming down here, and then like this, in this one, it's water, right? Fire, water, fire with this lightning strike, and then the water. And they're both doing the same thing though, right? There's like this division. And that's what we've been feeling. But I feel, this is the Six of Wands. We're moving from this place of chaos into a more ordered, right, universe. But it takes time. This is transition. That this, what we're going through right now is this transition. That, this dark night for the collective, and you've walked through it, and I feel like you're helping others walk through it, right? It's just this part of this moving into a new time frame, right? The wheel of fortune is turning, and it goes from dark to light. That's just the way of it, And here below, I love it. I will talk about this energy. This is just really gorgeous here. But, and I see all these different, it's like, once again, you're taking, look at that tree right there, the growth, right? All of this chaos, amidst all the chaos, there's growth. There is groundedness. Like all the pieces are here, right? It's a matter of getting them in the right order. And that's what you're doing here. And that's, that's Virgo for you, right? Getting everything in order. And just, kind of walking through it. The only way out is through. And you're just, you're moving with the times. This is like so fluid and natural for you now. And, these little guys, this is like little signs from the universe, gifts from the universe. This is Jupiter energy, by the way. So interesting. There'll be help. Yeah. You're being recognized for the work that you do here. Because this is something you're consciously moving towards. I feel like this is like you kind of guiding the way for others. I just keep on getting that message. Yeah, and look at these colors and these three cards. They do work together, right? And these are the colors of Jupiter. And I do feel like this is a new start, and I feel like there's this, I'm not the biggest fan of clowns, but this one's kind of cute. I like all the bright colors and the butterflies, right? There's this new beginning, and I feel like you're lighthearted about it, right? This is your subconscious mind, and it's expanding. And that's the transformation, right? The expansion of the transformation. And it's getting this beautiful sun energy behind it with that new moon in Scorpio, right? Which, is that shadow energy too. Oh, it's Scorpio. But yeah, that subconsciously you're lighthearted, you're expansive, new, just learning and seeing and watching, and that gifts are coming, right? It's like this is a gift. And then this second week, when it's topped, this one, I feel like this one comes second. Yeah, this is healing energy. This is kind of like, and this guy's flying with the bat wings here, and there's a little bat, that's coming in here. And it's like, through this path, there's this pause, right? I feel like this is a self-isolation because there's a key right here. This is the emotions, the relationships. And this is your action. This is that willpower. This is like, you're continuing to put together the pieces, what fits right where. But the thing is, and I don't think you are. I think you are getting the willpower, right? The power of right? And it's like you're building the bomb. And you're getting ready to you're getting ready to become the hunter here. You've just had to take this pause to kind of put everything together, get everything in the right order, because that's how Virgo works best, right? But I do, Chariot is forward momentum. So I do think that you are going to take some, and it's touching this fortune card here. Touching the Six of Wands here. Touching Grace Jones here. So I do think you are, you're unleashing the beast, as the Henri Matisse card states, because you've gained clarity, right? You're feeling lighthearted and expansive, and the Six of Tides is in your future. And I do feel like this has to do with love, right? Chariot, Cancer is all about love. Oh, that's interesting. They have Cancer on both sides of the Six of Wands, going from the moon in Cancer to the embodiment of Cancer, with that fire behind it. And this is the, masculine and the feminine, right? There's this balance here. And sweetness. So, if nothing else, if this is like a creative project, right? Or just being a kind of shepherd through the darkness, this is coming back to a place of serenity and joy. This is the sun in Scorpio, which we are moving out of at the end of this period. Yeah, the 21st, it's sun in Sagittarius. So it's taking some of, it's like taking what we learned during this period, and, Jupiter rules Sagittarius, moving it outward. Taking what is useful from the past, bringing, leaving what doesn't belong there, right? That's part of this puzzle, putting the puzzle pieces together. What fits, what doesn't. And for some of you, this is going after love. I mean, this has been a repeating theme. And Mars has turned direct, right? Putting a fire behind the heart. All right. Let's get a piece of art. And then we'll get closing guidance, and then we'll take a quick look at the underlying energies. All right. For Virgo. I'm going to go back just a tad. Okay. To left. Allegory of good government. Interesting. And then we have the coronation of the Virgin over here. And you all are the Virgin. That is interesting. So, yeah. I mean, like... it's been coming up for the last, month. What's going on at the U.S. elections has been going on. And this allegory of good government, it's like we're kind of watching. And this is that emperor, right? That is curious. And there's 4 people. I'm like automatically drawn to this 4 of Tides here, and how, some of these look like just completely displeased. And this guy looks like he doesn't know what to do. So we'll see what happens here. But coronation of the Virgin over here, I feel like I said, you're getting recognized for your work, your service. You all are the sign of service, right?